Alright, so chapter 10 deals with, I'm going to call it vertical circulation. Stairs, ramps, and the railings associated with those ramps and stairs. If you've ever drawn stairs, or, well, ramps are pretty easy, but stairs by hand or with AutoCAD, you're really going to appreciate the tools that Revit has to make this process seamless. Revit does a lot of math for you in this process. We're going to walk through kind of how it determines the height of risers and things of that nature. And we're going to go ahead and add stairs first and foremost to this big atrium area here on the east side of the building. So if you haven't already gone to level floor plan 2, do so at this time. So you can see here in the project browser that we're at level 2. And you want to zoom in on this radial east wing. Item 3 on the view control bar, change your visual style to hidden line. That's down here. And we're going to change that to hidden line. Item 4 on the circulation panel of the architecture tab, click the stairs button, figure 10.1. So if you go to architecture up here, you see there's a circulation panel, and we have railings, ramps, and stairs. We're going to click on stairs, and you're going to get a context menu that says modify, create stairs. On the components panel of the modify, create stairs tab, make sure the run button and the straight button are checked. So we have a run, it's checked, and straight is checked. Some other things I want you to take a notice of. You have a type of stair, and I'm just going to hit edit type here real quick and show you that there's some calculation rules in here. Maximum riser, minimum tread, that it defines. You define these things as the user. Now these are typically defined by code. So 711 happens to be commercial code. If we are doing a residential building, the rise could be up to 7 3/4 of an inch. But these are maximums and minimums, so that when it starts to draw the stairs, it knows to make all of the risers equal up to that maximum. If it needs to go over that maximum, it will add another riser, which in turn adds another tread. So I'm just going to hit OK there. The other thing that you need to look at is your base level is level 2 and your top level is level 3. So it's using the distance between those two levels to calculate the number of required treads. Alright, so in the properties dialog, change the base level to level 1. So we'll do that. And change the top level to level 2. Change the multi-story top level to level 5. Alright, right now it says none. But since we know that all of these stairs are the same from level to level to level, our floor to floor height is the same, we can draw this stair once and it will replicate itself all the way up to level 5, which saves us a significant amount of drafting time. Alright. Pick the intersection of the floor edge at grid 3.1 for the first point of the stairs. The spot is labeled number 1 in figure 10.4. So if you look at figure 10.4, and we go right here, and we click and we start dragging. What you're going to notice in light gray here is it says 2 risers created, 16 remaining. How does it know that you need 18 risers? It calculates based on the calculation rules how many risers it takes to go from level to level. So we're going to drag this out until 9 risers. Created 9 remaining. And we're going to click. Oh, I see mine's a little uneven there, so let me try this again. Try to drag straight. I'm going to click, and it's going to draw that first part of the stair. And then I'm going to come over until I hit grid line. Says grid line labeled number 3, which is 2.10. Just going to come straight over. Click there, and I'm going to drag again back. And let me do that one more time. I'm going to hit Control Z and do this one more time so you can see it. So with run and straight selected, level 1, level 2, I'm going to start here at this intersection. I'm going to drag out to 9 risers. I'm going to drag straight up. Click and drag 9 back out. And you'll see that it automatically infilled the landing between. Because it knows that I have a straight run of stairs and I have to have a landing between those straight run of stairs. Alright, so I'm going to pause right there and make sure that you guys all got this. Alright, it looks like everybody has that in order. So now we're going to modify the boundaries. With the main stairs in place and laid out, you can now start modifying the profile. Given that this is a 5-tiered multi-level staircase, the boundary will be somewhat limited, but not to the point that you can't make something pop out of your design. To modify the boundary, follow these steps. Select the landing as shown in figure 10.5. So I'm going to select this. Click the convert button, see figure 10.5. Alright, so this takes it from a component-based stair to a sketch-based stair. And that's important because we could have built this whole stair with sketching. It just would have taken us longer. So when we do that, it's going to give us this error. We don't need to see that. So now that we've converted it, we can edit the sketch. And we're in sketch mode now, but what do we see?
Green line instead of magenta.
Green lines instead of magenta lines. Very good. That's a boundary line for a stair. What we want to do is we want to make this curved. So we're going to take the start in radius. And we're going to give this a radius of 8 feet. So what I'm going to do is actually just click that in there, and then I'm going to come in and just type in 8 feet here. It gives me my radius. Now, from previous sketch modes, what do we know? Probably got to get rid of that line, right? So if we hit delete and we tell it, yep, we're good with this. Now my landing's been rounded out. And we're going to take just a quick detour here and show you what we've actually done. Excuse me. By cutting a section. Oh, no, hold on. We're not going to cut a section yet. We're going to modify the railing. Alright, so Revit provides a small number of railing systems as a default. You can choose one of these 5 railings to apply to the staircase during the sketch mode of the stairs. Follow the procedures to apply a railing to the staircase. On the Modify Create Stair tab in sketch mode, click the railing button. Okay, on the Modify Create Stair tab in sketch mode, click the railing button as shown in figure 10.10. So we click railing. And it's going to ask us. In the railing dialog box from the drop down, select guardrail, pipe, and we want it along the stringers as opposed to the tread. Click OK with the railing in place. You're on your way to completing the staircase. Okay. To complete the staircase, click the Finish Edit mode on the Modify Create Stair. Close the warning that states that the rail is non-continuous. Go to level 1 and your stair should look like this. Okay, so we're going to close that warning. We'll go to level 1. And you can see automatically that Revit has drafted in there the break line and the hidden lines for the stair above the cut plane. So we didn't have to draw all of that in. Also, what you'll see is if I cut a section here, is I've drawn all my stairs in all the way up. Now, I don't care how fast you are in AutoCAD. There's no way that you could have drawn all of that quickly. especially not with it being all rule-based the way it is. So we'll close that section and we'll give you an actual view, a 3D view of what that stair looks like. Maybe. No, let's go to default. There we go, camera. So you can see that we have in that atrium very quickly modeled all of the stairs. You think that's a time saver? Absolutely. And you know that the math is correct. You didn't screw up the math somewhere along the line. Alright, so let's close out of that view and go back to the book here. We already did the 3D view thing. Alright. Here's a problem. The railing just stops dead end at the bottom of the stringers. This may have been acceptable practice around the time, say when the wheel was still on the drawing board, but you need some kind of American with Disabilities Act compliance at the bottom of the stairs. To accomplish this, follow along with the next procedure. To begin, go to the book's webpage, browse the Chapter 10 folder, and find the file called ada-pipe.rfa. You can then download it to your computer and perform these steps. You guys should have downloaded it before class, but essentially you're going to go and insert a component. So from last class, we should know that we go to Insert, Load Family. We browse to where we saved that family. On this computer, I saved it under Documents, ADT 201, Chapter 10. ADT pipe, and you can see here in the preview that it's just the extension of the rail. Give it a minute while that uploads. So given what we did last week, what do you think the next step is? Yeah, we probably have to go to Architecture, Component. You can see it's the last one that we loaded. And we can think about how this would fit at the end of this rail. Okay, so I'm going to hit the space bar, which is going to allow me to rotate that. And I just eyeballed that, right? Is that the best way to do it? No. So what I'm going to do is actually move this away. And I'm going to use the Align tool. And I'm going to align that. And then I'm going to go back to my section. And I'm going to look at my section and see, does this make sense based on my section? I said no. Well, the handrail is lower than the handrail is lower than the top rail of the bar. But let's see. Nah, it looks a little bit low, right? So I could look at this component, and no, it says it's at level 1. So it should be correct. Let's go to thin lines. And yeah, it looks like it's sitting on the ground, right? Let's see what the book says. I don't remember if we had to extend the rail a little bit or not. Oh, we do have to extend the rail. So this actually ends up out here. So let's go back there and do that. Go to level 1 floor plan, zoom in on the bottom of the stairs. On the work plane panel of the architecture tab, click reference plane. So let's follow their instructions. Go to level 1. Let's take this and just move it out of the way for the moment. Zoom in on the bottom of the stair. On the work plane menu, go to the reference plane. You want to create a reference plane. Offset the reference plane 9.5 inches to the left of the bottom riser. Alright, so offset 9.5 inches. Alright, So we drew this little reference plane here. Type 0 in the offset field and draw another reference plane from the center line of the bottom railing to the left about 2 feet. Okay, so we'll come up here and put 0 in the offset, and we're going to go from the center line there. We're going to move that out there and probably do the same thing over here. Snap to the midpoint of that. It just doesn't want to. There we go. Snap to the midpoint and pull that out. So now we have some reference planes to help us line some stuff up. So I can align this with the center line of that, and I can align that. Align this, the center line of that. And I'm just typing AL for align, right? So that's pretty much how that should look. Okay, extending the railings. You've added a family to finish the stair at the bottom. The next step is to extend the railings on the stairs to meet the new family. There's one obstacle though. The railing on the stairs already has an ending post. The trick is to remove the default ending post and replace it with the custom ADA post you just loaded in your model. The objective of the next procedure is to extend the railing on the stairs to the ADA post you just added to the model. In the plan, select the bottom railing as shown in figure 10.16. Okay. In the Properties dialog box, click the Edit Type. And you're going to look at the family or the types of railings and see that there's all sorts of stuff in there. Don't get overwhelmed with that. We'll go through that kind of piece by piece. First thing we want to do is click Duplicate. And we want to call this Entry Stair Railing. And hit OK. In the baluster placement row, click the Edit button. All right, we have this baluster placement, and we want to click Edit. And all of a sudden, this big dialog box comes up. What's a baluster? Essentially a vertical part of a stair railing, right? So you have a start post, a corner post, an end post, and the regular balusters that go in between. And you can play with these things. Most of the time you're going to be downloading a family from a manufacturer that makes stair railings, and this will mostly be set up for you. But if you need to edit it, this is how you go about editing it. At the bottom of the Edit Baluster Placement dialog is a Post category, and the Post category is an option to place a post at the start, end, or corner of the railing. Follow these steps. For the start post and end post, type -6 inches for the base offset. So we want to put -6 inches here, and we want to put -6 inches here. Everybody good with that? Okay, click OK twice. And that did not do what I wanted it to do. Select the railing on the inside of the stair. Change its type. Oh, well, maybe that's why. No, we already have entry stair railing. Okay. That should have. Select the bottom south rail. Okay, we got the bottom south rail. This should have changed to a magenta line so that we could change it. So let's go back and see if we didn't edit, if we made a mistake here. So we'll go back a couple. Go Edit Type. Cancel. Let me make sure I have the railing selected. Edit type. We've already renamed it. We went to baluster placement. We hit edit. We changed the base offset. We changed that to -6 and -6. That's good. Settings for the offset allow the post to extend to the floor where needed. Click OK twice. Select the railing on the inside of the stair. So we hit OK twice. But that's weird because it's already. That's not really what I wanted to do. So if you double click on it, it will open up sketch mode. And you can drag it. I guess that's what it wanted us to do. So if you double click on it, it will open up your sketch mode and you can actually drag it to the reference plane. Let's go and look in the side and make sure this is what we want. Yeah, I guess that works. So now this looks too tall, right? Let's look in 3D view, make sure that we've got it working the way that we want it to. So we'll go to view here, camera. Alright, so something's still not quite right here, right? And this is a mess, and that's not really the way I want it to be. Well, so when we encounter something like this, what do? Back it up. We go back and see where we overlooked something. So if I grab this rail, see, I only want to do the inside rail, and it's having me do the entire rail, which I'm going to hit Control Z here a couple times. Picture on 1020. It does show both of them extending, doesn't it? Oh, I see where we screwed up. Alright, we aligned this in the wrong place. No big deal. So if we take this and align that to there, and then we extend this. Nobody cares, the rail is not continuous. Now we go back to our 3D view. We should be wrong 3D view. Let's create a new one. Okay, much closer, right? Everything looks like it lines up now. And to do this to the other side, what would we do? Yeah, I would just mirror it at this point because I have a center line here. And same thing, we can double click on this and okay. Now the problem is this needs to happen on how many levels? All of them. So, is there a way to copy stuff to multiple levels? How do we do that? Yes, but it didn't copy these to every level. So if I have these, how do I copy them to multiple levels? Copy to clipboard, right? Then paste, align to selected levels, and I can put it on 2, 3, 4, and 5, and hit OK. And what should have happened? Should be on all the levels now. So let's look at our section. And we have it on all the levels. So when you have the opportunity to do one thing and then either copy it across the project, you want to get as much of that done in the first instance as possible, right? Is it really necessary on level 5? No, so we can just select those and delete them. But the rest of the levels looks good to go. Okay, we're going to move on to adjusting the railings at the landings. Railings, of course, can be drawn independently from a stair. Tying the railing into the stair, however, requires a little bit more patience at the beginning. That being said, it becomes obvious that Revit reflects the real world when it comes to railings. If you have a railing that is difficult to build, it will probably be difficult to model. Also, if you arrive at an instance at an intersection that can't be physically accomplished in the field, then guess what? You'll struggle trying to get it into Revit. To add some railings at the landings and tie them into the stair railings, follow these steps. In the project browser, go to level 2 floor plan. So we'll navigate to level 2 floor plan. We're not worried about this railing, it's there. But right here, right now, people could just fall off. Right? There's no railing here. So we need to put some railings in here so people don't just take a dive off of our landing. In the project browser, go to level 2 floor plan. We've done that. On the architecture tab, click the railings button. An architecture railing. Takes us into sketch mode. Make sure the type is set to handrail pipe. Handrail pipe. In the properties dialog box, click the edit type button. Edit type. Click the duplicate button. Name the new handrail handrail-pipe horizontal rail. Railing, I'm sorry. Item 7, click the edit button next to the baluster placement. Select none for the start and end posts. Click OK twice. Item 10, pick a point on the intersection, at the intersection of the reference plane and the south wall is shown in figure 10.24. So we're looking down here, right? And it doesn't, telling us that it wants, okay. So we're gonna have a rail that's kind of and we're just going to draw a line. And while we do this, we're going to click the preview so that we can. Yeah, well, I screwed up there. I'm going to do it this way because it's just going to be easier. So you can see when I draw this line that the preview is telling me on either side that that's where the handrail's at. And if we're good with where this is and what it looks like, we're going to tell it to finish the sketch. The next step is to add the ADA railing extension to the north leg of the stairs. North leg of the stairs, and to create a railing between the two stair sections. This process can be a tad tricky, but once you get the progression, you'll see why it needs to be done in the following manner. Still on the second floor, select the two ADA pipe families. Click the mirror pick axis button. So we're going to take this, and we're going to take that, and we're going to mirror them along that axis. So we'll click here and mirror. They show up. Select the inside railing of the staircase. Click Edit Path on the Modify Railings tab. We're going to take that and we're going to drag it out. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Send the railing to the front edge of the ADA family exactly the same way you did for the south leg of the staircase. Click the Finish Edit mode. Repeat the procedure for the outside railing. Let's add a railing to the center and north side of the landing. This should be pretty easy. Start the railing command. This is going to be pretty simple. We're going to go from here, basically, to there. From here to there. What does it say? The railing line must be a single connected sketch. So in this particular case, I'm just going to quit sketching. I have to build these in two different pieces, which is no big deal. So you go here to railing. Finish that. Then you come back and add another rail. All right, everybody good with that? One thing in the book, they want this to be a little bit more fancy, so we'll delete this and we'll build their fancy rail. So they want you to come in here and go from that endpoint and go down a foot. Come over here from that endpoint and go up a foot. And then draw an arc from here to here. We want that to be 4 feet. So you get a little bit of a rounded rail. I must not have something trimmed properly, so we'll trim all these things together. Don't know why it's giving me such a heartache here. No, that shouldn't matter. No. I can drag that down, but that should not matter. define it. It thinks that this is, I probably got to redraw my arc, which is not the end of the world. So if you get an issue like that, just come in here and delete your arc, draw your arc again, and make sure you type SE for snap endpoint, and make sure you snap that endpoint. It probably just wasn't snapped to one of those endpoints. And that should fix it. There we go. So I probably was just off by such a hair I couldn't even see it. So if you get that case, just make sure you're being really methodical about snapping to the points. And the nice thing about this is it's very easy to draw a line, right? It's very easy to draw a compound curve in a line. You can make some pretty intricate handrails very quickly. Alright, so we know that this needs to be on multiple levels, right? And we think it's basically the way we want it to be. So we're going to grab all of these components, hold Control to select multiple. We're going to copy to clipboard, and we're going to paste the selected levels. We know that it needs to be on 3, 4, and 5. We're going to hit OK. And as long as everything lines up, it should work. Oh, I probably also need to copy these, so I'll do this again. Copy to clipboard, align to selected levels, 3, 4, and 5, and hit OK. So now if I go to just the default 3D view, and I select this, and I go to override graphics and view by element, surface transparency, I can change this transparency, right? And I can look in there, and I've got most of my stuff modeled up pretty quickly. Now I added a lot of detail to my model in really less than 30 minutes. Alright, so we're going to move on to creating a winding staircase. So basically we created this staircase with components, the straight component, and then we edited some pieces of that. You can also create it 100% by sketch mode. And the winding staircase will kind of illustrate some of those tools to us. Alright, so in the project browser, go to level 2 floor plan. And we're going to create the staircase over here. I believe it's right here, right? Zoom in on the area between the corridor and the east wing as shown in figure 10.33. Yeah, it's right here. Select the level 2 floor in the east wing. Well, we're going to create a landing. Click the Edit Boundary button on the Mode panel of the Modify Floors tab. Okay, so select the level 2 floor in the east wing. So I am in the wrong place. Why am I... No, that's the right place. Okay. So I need to select the floor. I'm going to drag across here. I'm going to use the filter. And hit OK. Then I'm going to edit that boundary of that floor. I'm going to draw a landing out here, and that landing is going to be 8 foot long and 7 foot 10 wide. Center it on the reference plane as shown in figure 10.34. Alright, so I'll draw a landing here. Basically from this point, eight foot. 7 foot 10 inches. Back there. This doesn't work, right? So I'm going to move these 3 lines. Snap from the midpoint. It doesn't really want to let me do that. So another way that I could draw this, let's get rid of this line. And this line. And I can go to line tool here. What's half of 7 foot 10?
3 foot 9. No, 3 foot 11. So 7 what?
7 foot 10. What's half of 7 foot 10?
Yeah. 311. Sorry.
311. So how many inches is that?
Would be 39. No.
Well, 36 plus 11, right? 47, right? So I can come over here and put in an offset of 47 inches.
Why did you put 311?
Why did you make this?
Why did I make you do math? It's college?
What was it that Sarah said last semester? That math is.
Ugh. Let's not go there. Math is, I forget, but it was like...
Something along the lines of being as useless as cursive?
Yeah, exactly. She said arithmetic was as useless as cursive. Alright, so anyhow, I have this landing that I've created now, right? By extending the floor plate. So we're going to... Now we have this piece of slab that's out there. That gives us somewhere to put the stair too. Alright, the next step. Click the Finish Edit mode on the mode panel. If you're asked if you want to attach the walls to the bottom of the floor, click yes. I don't like attaching walls to the bottom of the floor. I'll do that later. In the project browser, go to level 1 floor plan. All right, and we have a door down here. Door 100B. Select door 100B. Copy clip this. Paste it to the second floor. And if we go back to level 2, our door is now in place. Next, you'll create a winding set of stairs. The first task is to lay out the shape and plan using simple drafting lines. The second task is to model over the lines you added by using various stair tools as follows. Select the Annotate tab and click on the Detail Line button. That's this button right here. You can also type DL. On the Draw panel, click the Start in Radius Arc button. Alright, so we're going to start in radius. For the first point on the arc, pick the midpoint of the landing. Alright. Move your cursor down at 135 degrees from the first point you just picked. Extend your cursor 11 feet. Right, so when you get to 135, it will snap there. And then I'm just going to type in 11. Right? And then you're just going to snap that to a radius. Now he kind of already figured out the math here, right? You might have to do this if you were, if you didn't have it already all set up. You might have to do some math. Press Escape. On the Draw panel, click the Pick Lines button. We're back to... And we're going to offset 2 feet, which will give us a stair, essentially, 4 foot wide. Click the line tool and make sure the offset is 0. So we're going to take this and make this offset 0. We're going to draw another line. One's going to be drawn basically here. Make sure you're snapping to the end point. Why is it? Oh, sorry. I got a SE up there. Snap here. Snap there. And snap here. And snap there. So right now, all we've done is draw 2D lines. We're not in the stair tool. All we're doing is laying out lines that are going to help us complete the stair. The next step is to make an array of straight lines you just added. These lines will wind up being the guidelines for your risers. Press Escape and then select the smaller arc. In the Properties dialog, select Center Mark Visible. Right, so that is the crosshairs right there is the center of that arc. It's going to be important because we're going to use that as the center of our array. Select the line at the left end of the arc as shown in figure 10.40. Click the Array button on the Modify Lines tool. All right. So what type of array do you think this is going to be? A linear or a radial?
Radial.
Radial. Very good. All right. On the options bar, be sure radial is selected. Make sure group and associated is selected. Type 18 for the number. 18. Click Move to Last. All right. Click Place button next to the center of rotation. And obviously, we're going to place it right there. And we're going to click here. Well, it has us clicking here, but I'm going to click here and click here. And I end up with 18 beautiful arrayed lines. Is my stair done? No. In fact, I haven't even started making my stair yet. All I've done is make a bunch of detail lines that will allow me to make the stair. Your array is complete. Check out figure 10.1, see how the finished stairs will look. Okay. And we're not going to mirror these detail lines because I'm going to create the stair over here and then we'll mirror the stair. Now you can begin modeling the stair. This procedure is nothing more than tracing the lines you've already added to the model. To do this, you'll use the available tools that you haven't touched in the previous staircase. Follow these steps. On the Architecture tab, click the Stairs button. I lost my place here. In the Properties dialog box, change the base level to 1 and the top level to 2. Click the Edit type and click Duplicate. And we're going to name these Corridor Entry Stairs. And click OK. In the Construction category, click the cell to the right of Run Type. It contains the text 2 inches, tread 1 inch nosing, 1/4 inch riser. When you click the cell, you see a ... button. Alright. Where are we supposed to click again? In the Construction category, click the cell to the right of Run Type. Alright. Choose cherry for the tread material. You can see there's lots of dialog boxes for stairs. There's a lot of information that we can I'm going to pick wood - cherry, I think, right? No, just cherry. Okay. For the riser material, do the same. Under the treads category, select front, left, and right for applies nosing profile. This means that the nosing, or the rounded part of the tread, is going to be on 3 sides of the stair. So simply by selecting that, we're creating a bunch more geometry. Alright. Click OK. Scroll down to the support category. And we want to look at the supports. Change the right support from stringer closed to carriage open. Okay. Click into carriage 2-inch width to the right of the right support type. Click the ... button. Change that material to mahogany. Now what are we going to find when we try to search for mahogany?
They don't have it.
Yeah. They do. They created it. I think we created it earlier in one of our classes. Hit OK. Change the left support to open. Change this to mahogany. Well, it already is. Cool. Very good. Click OK to get back to the model. Okay, we haven't drawn anything yet, right? We've just set the parameters up for what we want the stair to look like. It's time to add the stair to the model. To do this, you'll first sketch the boundary. On the Modify Create Stairs tab in Sketch Mode, click Create the Sketch button. It's that little pencil. Alright, so there's boundaries and risers, and it works a little bit different than regular sketch mode. The boundary is like your stringers. It's the left and right side of your stair. The risers have to connect to the boundary. Does that make sense? So you're not going to take a boundary and draw it all the way 360 degrees around the stair. It'll never work. Basically, we're going to pick lines here. I'm going to pick that line, and I'm going to pick this line. And that's the end of my boundary. Everything else is going to be a riser. So I'm going to come in here and click riser. I'm going to pick. And you can see as I pick these at the bottom, it's telling me 5 risers, 13 remaining. So I'm just going to keep clicking up. I'm going to draw a line there and make sure I get the actual. Do you have to draw them individually? I believe so. I don't think you can make multiple because you have to select them from lower to upper. Alright. So, boundary is the stringers, risers go between the stringers. If I've done everything correctly here, it should work for us. Item 7, click the stair path button. Click the center line of the staircase. Hold on, I screwed up there. Let's get rid of that. Delete. Go back a step. Click the stair path button. Click the pick line. Click that. There we go. Alright. Click the Finish Edit mode on the panel. Alright. Before we get out of this completely, we want to add the railings though. So we're going to go ahead and click the railing button. And we are going to change that type. Change the railing handrail to pipe. Make sure the position is set to treads. Handrail pipe, treads. OK. And we should finish this. And if we go in here and give a 3D view, looks like we have a nice winding staircase. Are we done yet? No. So what do we need to do here? Add the stair to the other side and add some handrails, right? So let's just do that. We're not going to look at the book. We're just going to say, well, what makes sense? Selecting all this, right? And mirroring it. Remove that constraint. That makes sense, right? And then what else would we have to do? Draw 3 handrails, right? One that came here, one that came there, and one that came there. Our handrail's right at the edge of a slab. Not typically. So we're going to go in here and say architecture, railing. I'm going to draw a line. Or actually, I'm going to do a pick line. I'm going to offset that 4 inches. Right. And obviously, I need something from here to there. No, that didn't really work out very well now, did it? Wait, let's draw a line, take our offset there. Perfect. And the reason I'm not looking at the book while I do this, and I encourage you to kind of do the same, is you need to start to tackle these problems without step-by-step tutorials, right? So that looks good there. I'm going to say, yeah, that's what I want my rail to be. And I'm going to do architecture again and do another rail. Pick line, offset the 4 inches. Ooh, 4 feet, that might be a little too much. 4 inches, there we go. There we go. And then draw a line, same on this side. Change that offset to 0. Well, I always get a little overzealous, right? I can't. I gotta build these in 3 different pieces. That's okay. And since this one should be the same as that one, I'm just gonna take it and mirror it. It should line up. And then I'll go back to my 3D view. I look a little bit more like the way I want it to look? Yeah, it's not bad. The nice thing about this is you could make this stair any shape you want. Winding is a pretty typical shape, but you could literally make the stairs in any shape that you chose.